Oh, what's name are you?
Shalom from Jerusalem. This is Uriel, Independent News, Jerusalem, Israel. Michael, can you tell us a little bit about your story so the audience that is following us might or will hear your story?
Yes, first of all, I come from a Holocaust family, so I came to the States at the age of 4 after the Second World War, and we settled in New York. I'm also a Vietnam veteran. I served from 66 to 67. I came to Israel right after, and then I decided to make Aliyah, so I moved here in 71. In 2002, I have 4 kids. In 2002, 2 of my kids were in a bombing. My daughter was killed. She died after 10 days. She was in a coma for 10 days, and the 11th day she died.
Now, the story you told me was that your daughter went out to have some pizza with her friends in the mall, and a terrorist came in and blew himself up, and your daughter, due to the terror attack, she died 10 days later.
Right. Okay, I didn't know if we had time to go into the whole thing. That's right. She went to eat pizza with her friends on a Saturday evening in a place called Carnation Rome. And there was a bomb. Someone walked in, blew himself up.
A terrorist walked in.
Blew himself up, killed 3 kids, 2 of them Americans. And besides my daughter, who was unconscious for 11 days, I had also, she was 16 years old. I had a 14-year-old son that was also blown up, but he survived, and he's 20. He just turned 25. He was injured very bad. He still has shrapnel in his body. He had nails in his body. He had gallbladder, ear operations. He had 4 or 5 operations, but thank God he's still alive.
Now, you told me in the past that you do speaking engagements on so-called terror when you get the opportunity.
Yes, I did have. I was in Florida for a couple of years at that time, and I had a nonprofit called Partners for Israel, and I did some speaking at Jewish and non-Jewish places, and I did some speaking, trying to collect some money, and making the public aware of what's going on in Israel.
Now, your son is currently, one of your sons is currently serving in the IDF or not?
No, he's out already. He's out 2 years, and he's studying engineering at the University of Beersheba in the branch in Eilat.
I feel your pain and the pain of others that have lost loved ones due to terror attacks here in Israel. But I just like to say something that we should not be negotiating with no supporters of terrorism. As you know, we're surrounded by so many enemies. We see the situation in Syria now with the regime trying to wipe out the insurgency. What do you think about Syria and these so-called chemical weapons that they have?
Well, it's a very dangerous situation, because if they get into the hands of terrorists,
like Hezbollah,
or other organizations which were even less responsible, it can be a very dangerous thing, because they have no compulsions to do the most terrible things. They can bring them to the United States, okay, and who knows what they can do.
If you have one final thing to say to our audience, what would you say to them about Israel?
I would say, first of all, thank the American people for their support. Not so much from the government, but the American people support the Israeli people. And as a Vietnam veteran, I am very thankful for the American support.
And what do you think about Christians that love Israel?
Well, they should love Israel. They should come visit Israel as much as possible, and they should make themselves felt in the elections coming up.
We need your support, and you can send your donations via PayPal to Judah, JUDAH92 @gmail.com. We all need your support, and we need for you to stand firm. As you know, the Americans are having the elections coming up in November. Do you think that Obama has been a true partner to America? To Israel?
Of course, I don't think so. I hope the American people have learned, first of all, he's bad for Israel. What's even more important, he's bad for the United States. Not that he's ruined the economy, but he hasn't helped it improve. And hopefully American people will get wise.
Once again, anyone can send your donations via PayPal to Judah, JUDAH92 @gmail.com. And if you'd like to call us directly to Israel, you can dial 011 from America, 972-52-635-7088. This is Uriel, Independent News, Yerushalayim, Israel. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.